Hello, I am going to share with you my up-to-date fountain pen journal tonight. I really had a blast creating this, and I think it's going to be something that I'm able to keep up and going. I did a video on me starting this book. You can find that in my, if you search my other videos. I've got my pen journal in a Nanami A6 book. It's just Tomoe River paper, and it's got a handmade cover on it. I went through and I kind of did a layout for how I'd want to title different sections of the book if I decide to get that fancy. I haven't gotten back to it to do that kind of work, but it's in a Chic Sparrow, really old gray. I don't even know what the original name for this color was, but it's one of the older ones with the scallop pockets, and it's really gorgeous. I've got it in that cover with one of these DIY plastic, put a notebook in a TN kind of fixes. Some of my favorite things, a quote from The Great Gatsby, Bono from U2 back in the day, Alice in Wonderland. So I liked this cover, and I had it on something else, so I just threw it on this fountain pen journal. I don't know if it'll stay there. But a really quick flip. I'm going to try not to be too wordy in going through what the inks and colors are, but here's how it ended up. So my favorite inks are kind of in the front, although I'm going to have to let go of that if and when I add more inks to my collection. Blue Nose Bear and the Rohr and Klingner's Alt Gold Green. Those are my favorites. Love these Sailor Studio inks. I'm really trying hard to be disciplined about not purchasing more of these. I've got 2 now, and I'm going to try to keep it at 2. The thing that I really liked about making this journal is it made me appreciate some of the inks that I had in my collection that I'd forgotten about, really. And it also made me wonder why I had some of them still. I don't know what the best way to do this. If I move my light in a little bit closer so that it's a little bit brighter, then I kind of catch I have a very fancy setup here, people. It's a camera hanging by a clippy thing, and then, or my iPhone hanging from a clippy thing, and then my OttLite desk lamp. So what you see is kind of what you get. Some of these in the beginning here are really beautiful ink colors. I just don't reach for them. This one's just a little bit too much of a leprechaun green for me, but the shading on it is amazing. I'm not really a fan of pink inks. This one's certainly beautiful. This is more my cup of tea, but you can see that this has a little bit of sheen to it, and I'm really not a fan of sheen. I like shading. You can't see it so much when you write with it, so it's fine. This is one that I'd forgotten about, and there's something about this color that I really dig. I think I've just moved my preferences back from brights to neutrals again. This is one that I need to let go. I am not a blue person overall. If I like blues or more the teal blue. So that one I just need to gift it to somebody or figure out what to do with it. Luckily, I have a friend at work who's also into fountain pens, and she very much appreciates when I when I gift her things that I've lost my interest in. This is another really pretty one, this Noodler's Cayenne. Beautiful shading. And for an orangey red, I think it's really pretty. This is one that I don't mind for pink. I like this pink a little bit. It's so interesting to me that even though they're both pinks, one is a little bit more interesting or likable to me. This is another really pretty one. I think I kind of like the J. Herbin inks. This is a blue that I don't mind. It's more like a denim blue. And I don't mind this one either. It leans towards kind of a periwinkle color. Kind of pretty. This is one that I have no idea why I bought it. Well, I do know why I bought it, because it was green and it looked really beautiful on the sample in my local art store. And I have never had any desire to put this in a pen. So yeah, that one definitely could go. This one, I'm kind of on the fence about. It's okay. This one has really pretty shading to it, maybe a little bit of sheen, but it really doesn't do anything for me either. There are so many of these. I wish that there was a fountain pen ink trade avenue that you could like, what was I thinking? Can I trade you something else for this ink? This one's really pretty. I bought it to go with a pen. There's a line of fountain pens called Super Green, and the time that I bought this, it was really challenging to find like an olive green fountain pen. And they sold the ink to go with it, so of course I had to buy the ink too. It's not too bad. It's in the green area that I really like, that kind of olive yellow green color. The opposite of greens that I like would be this one. This one really needs to find a new home. Luckily, it's a teeny tiny little bottle. There's a whole bunch of these Diamine smaller bottles that I purchased when I was really in my beginning stages of fountain pens and thought that I needed like the Crayola colors of fountain pen ink. So this is one that everybody loved and I thought I'd try, and it's really a pretty color, but when you write with it, it just leans too much towards black to make it anything that is enjoyable to me. This is really too much sheen for me. You can't see it again on the writing, but it's kind of got a coppery gold sheen to it, and the purple is just not quite right. This is closer to right as far as purples are concerned, but it's got a green sheen to it, so I don't care for that either. This one's really pretty. I do really like this Oxblood. It's got a gorgeous shading. It even has a little bit of sheen to it, but this one is really not noticeable at all. You can't really even see the sheen much at all on the ink blob. Red Dragon is kind of pretty. It's got a really nice, I love these bluish reds. I think they're beautiful. And then this one is really pretty also. Again, the sheen is not something I'm interested in, but the sheen ends up making it look a little bit like it's almost leaning towards a dark, like a black around the edges of the letter. You don't really see it as the green that you can see on the ink dots. This one's pretty, Autumn Oak, but it's really similar to the Noodlers. I guess it's kind of in between the Noodlers Cayenne and the Apache Sunset, maybe a little bit closer to the Apache Sunset, maybe not quite as obnoxious with the orange color. So that one's one that I don't mind. This one's got to go, people. I don't know where my brain, well, again, this is back in that Crayola. I have to have all the colors, and this was a yellow one. Nope. I don't want to read any writing in that color. No. And the Colorverse. When those inks first came out, I bought the String and Bane because I wanted this one because of the green color, and it sheens, so I'm not a fan. And this one came with it, and I just plain no. Yuck. And then this one, I have no idea even why I bought this one because this one came with a large container of this color and a small container of this color. I think I thought that it was pretty online and I got it. Oh, because it's got that coppery sheen to it again. I think that I went through a moment of like, oh, that's really beautiful. And then I just don't like sheen. And speaking of not liking sheen, I might be the only person on the face of the earth that does not like this ink. And apologies to you, this is just my opinion. It's the sheen again. I just don't want to read my writing with that red. No, just this needs to go also. I should do like an open and partially used ink giveaway. Now, this is beautiful. This is a Sailor Studio. This is the second one that I purchased. I love this. I think that this is just amazing. Teal, green, and purple, all in one ink. This is one that I purchased to use with my Hobonichi work planner. I thought that if I was going to use fountain pen, I wanted something a little bit less, a little lighter than the, good grief, my head, not that one. This one, then Lexington Gray. This is really a darker, it almost sits close to a black, and I wanted something lighter. And this is the lightest gray that I could find, and I'm really not thrilled with it, I'm sorry to say. So that was kind of a sad. So those are the bottled inks that I have, and like I said, I've kind of toned down my collection thanks to my colleague at work, and she'll definitely get some more. And then here's my little currently inked. It'll have a page at the beginning of it for what's in my pen. I actually went through all the ink for these two, so I'll be cleaning these two pens out. And this is a recent acquisition, the TWSBI Turquoise Eco. And the person who sold it to me sold it with the Diamine marine ink in it. And I like the ink. I won't purchase a bottle of it, but I will certainly use the ink that was in the pen that she sold me. So I've got that going too. And this is also in a TWSBI, so there's a great deal of ink to go through in these two pens. I am totally in love with the TWSBI Ecos, but I'm not in love with, you think that having all of that ink in a pen would be a plus, and for some people it is, but I think I like to change inks a little bit more frequently than that huge the huge ink capacity allows. So I'll have to be careful when I use them and just not fill up the whole ink, all of the ink in the pen, just a little bit of it. And then I think that they'll be fine. They're really light, they're fun to use, I love the colors, and that's a whole nother video. I got some samples. I got some more samples from Yosika Stationery. When I was considering using that fluorescent pink Filofax, I thought that it would be fun to have an ink color that kind of went with it. And so I ordered a few more Sailor Studios. And so I thought I'd just do samples in the back here so that they weren't confusing. And I asked them to send me a surprise one that I hadn't asked for, and this is what they sent. And if I was going to purchase another one of these Sailor Studio inks, I'd likely try this number 150. It's all kind of purple to blue in its shading. It's really pretty. This one I like too, but I've got enough pink, so I won't order that one. And this one I didn't notice online that it's got a gold sheen to it, so that one's absolutely a no. So anyways, that's kind of my deal. I think that I'm also going to find a little section in here to make a list of my fountain pens, where I bought them from and what I paid for them, in the event that I'd like to rehome them or something happens to me. My husband will have a clue and not like throw them out. It could happen, right? So that is my update on my ink journal. Mary Beth, I thank you for your conversation, because I'd totally forgotten that I was going to do a video, and I was kind of scratching my head what my next video would be about. So there it is. And I really hope that most of this wasn't off camera and you were able to see everything. If I missed saying clearly where things were from or what they are, or you want information about anything that you've seen, please give a holler, and I'd be happy to provide that information in the conversation below. Until next time, everybody, I will see you again soon. Bye.